chair, Joanna March, who will lead, take over and lead the board of directors and the rest of the staff and our participants through the rest of our AGM. Thank you.
Good morning and welcome everybody from virtual land. Thank you for joining us for our 35th annual general meeting. So without further ado, I'm going to begin. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Our first item of business is the approval of last year's AGM minutes. So I need a motion that the minutes of the annual general meeting held on September 21st be approved as circulated.
I so move.
Chris Fraser, this first move.
I'll second that. Jamie O'Shea.
Jamie is for second. All in favor? Any opposed? Great. I will now like to introduce Kirk Gregoire from Wilkinson and Company to present our financial statements.
Thank you very much. Just to give a bit of background, Amber's going to possibly have the financial statements up for a bit of review, but I'm going to go through a brief summary. Last week I met with the audit committee and reviewed the statements in detail, so today will be a brief summary of the financial results. So good morning, everyone. I'm pleased to be here to present the financial results for Trenval Business Development Corporation for the year ended March 31st, 2022. Our auditor's report is a clean opinion and is dated today, June 29th, 2022. Our report states that in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly the financial position of the corporation as at March 31st, 2022, in accordance with Canadian accounting standards for not-for-profit organizations. The global pandemic continued during the year, and I'm pleased to say that despite this, that it was still a successful year for Trenval. The investment fund is very strong with assets that total about $11.7 million, which consists of mostly cash and loans receivable. Trenval dispersed nearly $2.5 million in loans during fiscal 2022, which were vital to their clients and our community. Once again, the investment fund is where we concentrate a significant portion of our audit work, as it accounts for a significant percentage of the assets of the corporation. Total revenues recognized during the year were just under $2 million. The composition of this is government grants, investment income, and some miscellaneous income. Total expenditures were just over $1.2 million, resulting in a surplus for the year of $700,000, bringing the total fund balance of the corporation to approximately $11.8 million. The dedicated staff and board of Trenval have continued to work hard during the past year to attempt to assist as many clients and community businesses as possible through the ongoing pandemic. We congratulate you on a successful 2022 and wish for even greater success in the coming year. I would like to thank Amber Darling, her staff, and the board of directors for their assistance and support during our audit. And if anybody would like a copy of the financial statements, I think just contact Amber and she can send you a copy. Thank you very much for your attention, everyone.
Thank you, Kirk, and your team for all of your efforts in the auditing process. I'm glad to see that our finances are all in a good shape. I'd like to have a motion that the audited financial statements prepared by Wilkinson and Company and the decisions of the management for the period April 1, 2021 to March 31st, 2022 be accepted as presented.
I move
Rob, first motion, Rob.
Seconded, Amy Harder.
Amy Harder, second. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Great, motion carried. So since Wilkinson and Company has been doing such a wonderful job for us over the last few years, I would like to have a motion that the accounting firm of Wilkinson and Company be appointed as the auditors for the Trenval Business Development Corporation for the period of April 2022 to March 2023. Robert Firster.
Matthew Page, I'll move that motion.
Thank you. Seconder.
Sean McKillop, I'll second.
Thank you, Sean. All in favor? Any opposition? So carried. So now I would like to introduce you to our awesome executive director who will give you an update on our performance for this year.
You're muted, Amber.
There's always one in a crowd, right? And I'm usually it. So thank you so much. So it's hard to do muting and letting people in and doing the slides. So This past year, as well as the last 2 years, have been responsive and recovery, and we hope that we're now in the resilience mode. And Trenval has business advisory services, and they are the core element of the delivery of the Community Futures program. Our professional staff is experienced and knowledgeable about the local market and understands the challenges faced by all businesses. Services are provided one-on-one and are free of charge for individuals that take part in many of our workshops, as well as seminars. Assistance is available for startups, expansions, purchases, exporting, marketing plans, financial projections, succession plans, as well as financing. We welcome individuals seeking opportunities to do a full-time, part-time, or a side hustle business. Last year, we assisted 42 non-loan businesses with 216 counseling sessions. We co-hosted 42 workshops in partnership with the Small Business Center. CED projects address the current economic, business, environmental, social challenges of the community. We usually work in partnership with other lead organizations. CED projects this past year resulted in $23,496 contributed by the Board of Directors for 5 projects, including the Lions Playground, Win This Space with the Trenton DBIA, Quinty Young Professionals, a mural restoration of the 1995 mural originally funded by Trenval, that was in downtown Trenton, and a unique partnership with Loyalist College third-year accounting students who worked with 10 companies on their bookkeeping needs and provided tax clinics. I'll now turn the presentation over to Eileen Brown, Trenval's business and loan advisor, who has been with Trenval for the past 7 years, assisting new loan clients, as well as going on endeavors with our existing clients and providing wraparound support. Eileen?
Thank you, Amber. Good morning, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today for our annual AGM. As some of you may know, I'm Eileen Brown, Trenval's business and loans advisor, and an honored member of Team Trenval. And I am pleased to report that in spite of COVID-19, Trenval provided loan counseling to 249 clients, which included 17 loans dispersed to new and existing businesses within our catchment area. Total lending came to $1.94 million, supported by $9.4 million, which is $4.82 for every $1 funded, and leveraged funding through owner contributions, private lending, and other financial partnerships such as BDC and Futurepreneur. This lending also supported the creation of 75 full-time equivalent jobs and the maintenance of 83 jobs, which is an impact of 158 full-time equivalent jobs within our local catchment area. I'm also pleased to report, since Trenval opened its doors in 1987, Trenval has collectively supported and financed 944 small businesses, which loans totaled $42.3 million that was supported by 63 million, an average of 148 to every one funded dollar in leverage funding. That created or maintained 4,784 jobs within our catchment area up until the end of March 31st, 2022. In response to COVID-19, and as the local FedDev delivery stream for COVID mitigation monies or regional relief and recovery funding, providing small businesses up to $60,000 with a potential forgiveness of between 25 to 33% to those eligible applicants. Trenval's relief delivery this past fiscal funded an additional 13 businesses, which totaled $525,000 dispersed RRF or SEBA-like loan funds that supported the maintenance of 43 jobs. The forgiveness or non-repayable funding portion of these supported businesses will total just over 83,750 as relief to those affected local businesses. Trenval has proven to be a vital support to businesses with the delivery of the recovery funding, having supported in total 64 businesses since 2020, which totaled 2,909,888 of dispersed funding dollars, supporting 169 jobs, with forgiveness 606,250 recognizable at the sunset of 2023. Trenval is proud to be one of 60 Ontario Community Futures that collectively delivered 2,876 relief for RRF loans that totaled 116.7 million funded program dollars, which in turn supported just over 8,500 jobs within our province of Ontario. Trenval is also one of 267 Community Futures nationwide, supporting small and medium enterprises, noting that national relief funding under this federal program, totaling 463 million working capital dollars, supported 11,374 small and medium enterprises, and 44,391 jobs were maintained because of that support. So what does that tell us here today? It says that while Trenval only represents 0.4% of Community Futures nationally, Trenval delivered 0.6% of the total relief funding to our local business community, which I believe is an exemplary company. We may be small, but we are also mighty. Okay, now that you're all number struck, it's time to reveal this year's entrepreneurial gem. Please meet Sharon Huckle, a dynamic and tenacious entrepreneur with an unyielding dedication to courageously show up each and every day, regardless of the challenges. Sharon is proudly known as a dedicated mother, daughter, sister, friend, serial entrepreneur, hair and makeup artist, salon owner, vacation property owner, natural product junkie, and do-gooder with a love for history. Sharon's entrepreneurial journey began in the late 1990s, opening Urban Herb Bistro in 1999, followed by the Cat's Meow Salon and Spa in 2004. Trenval is a proud community supporter of Sharon's journey, financing her business ventures from conception throughout several expansions, including a major shift from the well-known bistro cuisine Urban Herb and Nice Ice Baby ice cream to her latest launch, Windrose Destination Suites in 2020. Sharon is a champion of creativity in challenging times. The plight of the pandemic was a tsunami to many, its path causing debilitating closures throughout the personal care and hospitality and travel sectors, amongst others. Sharon's businesses weathered the storm, navigating several forced closures throughout 2020 and in 2021. And like the song by Celine Dion, she is a beauty out of ashes. Sharon's tenacious courage is a model to women, to all entrepreneurs. While Sharon's unrelenting schedule did not allow her the privilege of attending in person today, please let's take a moment and listen to a pre-recorded video of Sharon's prepared by our own communications expert, Chantal Ouellette.
So my name is Sharon Huckle, and I am the owner of the Cat's Meow Salon, Windrose Destination at the Island. That is a hair salon, a So we have been doing business in the downtown district for almost 25 years. Various buildings, but we've evolved and grown our business over the years. We started out actually as a restaurant first, and then we kind of went into my salon, and then the restaurant sort of more towards catering. And that grew into a huge food empire, catering, restaurants, ice cream companies, multiple shops, everything. We had that business for some years, and so we closed that down in 2019. Business partner. And so we decided to part ways and to end up that particular portion of our business. I carried on with the salon, and then COVID happened, so that was fun. But I muscled down. I got scrappy. Being a single mom of 2 boys now with 2 businesses. Which 2? So my name is Sharon Huckle, and I am the owner of the Catsian Salon. And that particular portion of our business, I carried on with the salon, and then COVID happened, so that was tons of fun. But I muscled down. I got scrappy because being a single mom with 2 boys now with 2 businesses shut down. I had just pivoted from the food business combination, and so that's where I put some funding and loans to push that idea forward faster. Well, Trenval and I have a long history. So Trenval was there to help us through every step of our business growth and evolution. They tend to guide you gently through the hazards of financing for business, because it can be a little bit muddy waters for a lot of people. And I'm a creative type master, so that wasn't what's wrong too, but I do like lists. So as long as I can kind of put the goals down in a list, I would say I have 2 lists, a to-do list and a ta-da list, because it's good to be able to check things off and look back at what you've accomplished. But they're very clear with that, and they've been super supportive just every step of the way. When we were brand new entrepreneurs some years ago to now more seasoned entrepreneurs, I still run into overwhelming situations, and you know, they help break things down, make it simple. They test you, right? Because they're going to ask you questions. They're going to challenge you to think things through. They're going to ask you to do spreadsheets. If you have a good accountant, we'll do them for you. I don't like spreadsheets. But yeah, they bring out your strengths, and they help you find people to navigate through your weaknesses. So that's been a good thing. So we all got strengths, and we all got weaknesses, and it's just knowing who to place around you to help support you through that. So thank you as well. Knowing that I would be busy with both the salon and the motel once the world opened up again, so I had to make hay while the guest was good, and I had that moment to focus, and that's also when I started to build the coaching business as well. One income did not down out when businesses were shut down, so better to be a little bit more diversified, not with all guys. I have a pretty good track record, even though we've been the weeds a few times. Business is tough. Running a business is really tough, and that's why I call my other business the Unstoppable Silence, because I literally have to feel like I've been a phoenix, rising from the ashes. It was tough time. Like, it had already been a really rough 3 years anyway. So many bad things happened, and life-threatening things with children, parents, and such. But also business-wise and personally, really rough time. So then COVID happened, right? So it was scary. So I went from March 2020 thinking I was going to go bankrupt to I guess 3 years later now, having a thriving empire, right? Yeah, well, I often joke that it does take a village to keep me going. So I am not a one-woman show. Do not get me wrong. I have a ton of support, luckily, and that is what kept me going through COVID, because it was pretty scary. Because there was that moment there where nobody knew what was happening, while shut down, and especially as a self-employed person, we just didn't know how the government was going to be able to step up to help us out, right? So it was scary and stressful. And, I have 2 kids to support, and I have 3 buildings to pay for plus a house. Like it was scary. And I live very frugally, but I mean, just the expenses never stopped. So if it weren't for government loans and grants that were available, especially not. I've always been an entrepreneur. I'm also very multi-passionate, so that was crucial to the turnaround. It's all about your mindset, right? And definitely having support, coaching, and mentoring behind you is instrumental in turning that around quickly. And every day, whether I felt like it or not, I get out and put on my happy face and from the others to make things happen. Sometimes I have a hard time focusing, and sometimes I have a hard time like simmering down on the ideas. But again, that's where the support network and just having so many amazing mentors, inspirations out there. Sometimes I feel like I'm doing too much, and other times I'm like, it's good. And it just all happens incrementally and a bit organically. And sometimes you have to push it, but definitely we're going to grow. I've got lots of ideas for the salon, where I'm going with that. I've got lots of ideas for the hotel and collaborating with the other local businesses around. The motel is going to be a multifunctional space, and that could be a photo studio area and video shooting area, and going to have retreats here. Weekend with me and stay in my suite and learn about business. So you have to look back at all of the accomplishments and as well as the mistakes you made, and then course correct accordingly. But all of my plans are symbiotic. So I think they'll be really well. We've had lots of impact on the local community. In the 15 years that I was paying attention that our business was open for 120, we had donated more than $450,000 to more than 80 local charities. And that did not include the hours we spend at events, the time I spend on committees and boards and various things. We're very active in our community. And I love this area. And I feel like it has not even been close to reaching its full potential. I felt like that was the last 20 years on. There's so many amazing things in this area. And beautiful waterfront. There's all the connections to all the smaller, cool, interesting towns, the wineries, the restaurants. And then there's a really good local community, and we're all trying to make it better. Of course, every small town has some challenges, and we're no exception. But I think our municipality works really hard at making all of us a welcoming place, a nice place to live and grow and work. It's a great place to raise kids. And I encourage more people to check it out. Like, I have big visions, and I do look out to other people to see what they're doing. And I see other people that have made amazing things happen. So for people, why not me? I can do that too. So I've been very blessed in my life. I do have a really good support network, and that makes all the difference. So for people who don't have a support network, find one, because there's lots out there. You can build that, you can nurture that, and that's really important. I always have the best job. I get to just jump in here all day. Like, it's pretty great. And not everybody has that same thing. And certainly, I've said it time and time again, through all of this has been my salvation, because no matter what, I had to show up, put my happy face on. It's the people that drive me, right? Money is important. I know we need it to survive. It kind of ranks right up there with oxygen, but it's certainly not everything. There needs to be the why behind the money. And luckily, I have very satisfying work. Having hotel guests here and welcoming you to my area and being really proud of my hometown, which I'm sharing that business that is owners that I know. It's just really gratifying, privilege to work. Get good mentorship, right? You don't always need all the resources, but you need to be resourceful. And there's actually lots of resources out there if you just tap into them. And find somebody who's done what you want to do and just follow in their footsteps and try not to make mistakes. And people are actually quite generous. Like, if anybody ever reached out to me, just like I've reached out to people in the past, most people are pretty your real go-getter. So be unstoppable, right? Keep putting one foot in front of the other. And I always say unstoppable energy can feel very different if it's coming from two different places, right? It can feel like you're on the hamster wheel, it's unrelenting. It's, you know, you can't stop. Or it can feel like, I got this, I can figure it out, I can make things happen. And I try to operate from that creative energy instead of that draining, negative energy. So, you know, you get there sometimes, but we can shift it and move over here. So mindset is very important. Messaging is very important, right? How you're telling yourself a story and how you're telling the world story and who you're communicating with, and also your methods, and follow the methods of how to successful people. Especially schools.
Well, thank you for that. Sorry for some of the interruption with the music, but she is on our YouTube channel if you'd like to check it out again. And now I would like to introduce you all to the newest member, and dare I say the youngest of Team Trenval, our administration and communications assistant, graduate of Loyalist College, Business Administration Dean's List, and John M. Bernice Academic Award, Chantal Ouellette. Despite her seemingly quiet persona, is a daredevil motocross enthusiast with an entrepreneurial side. Remember Summer Company Skid Craft Co. Chantal repurposes scrap from wooden skids into creative works of art of beauty for your home. We are fortunate to have found this gem who has jumped into the Trenval team with both feet, with a calm tenacity already heightening the Trenval presence in our community and beyond through her communication powers. Let's give a warm welcome to Chantal.
Thank you, Eileen. It has been a pleasure working with the Trenval team so far. So this year, I was honored to be the lead on this year's BizQuest Mini Video Contest. So this was Trenval's second year doing this contest. So this contest was designed to showcase locally owned businesses through a video contest. So businesses entered following 3 easy steps. They had to make a video around their business. They had to upload it to YouTube and then enter it on our website. So this year we had 6 prize partners along with 22 entries amongst the 3 different categories. We had 10 community volunteers. So those were the individuals who took the time to view and judge the video submissions. And when the videos went to the public voting round, we got a total of 2,260 public votes, which was amazing. And there were 3 lucky winners in each of those 3 categories. So we had the Grit Pit for the Start category, Sugar Mama's Bake Shop for the Grow category, and Little Stinkers Natural Pet Foods and Grooming for the Thrive category. So we had an award celebration on June 16th, and we had all of the 3 finalists in each of the 3 categories come out, and that's when we announced each of the 3 winners. So it was a very well event. It was very well done, and all the participants were amazing. It was very nice speaking with everybody and talking a bit about everyone's business. So thank you to all the participants. Thank you all to all the judges, to all the sponsors in our local community that helped support this local business, this local contest. And thank you everyone at Trenval for helping me out throughout running and organizing this contest. So I'm going to pass it along to Luke and Brianna over at the Small Business Center.
Thank you, Chantal. And if only I had Eileen's skill to introduce and communicate so well, I think I could do a better job. But today, my name is Luke Fournier, Small Business Center Manager and Business Counselor here in Belleville. We have Brianna Rossett. We're going to hear from her shortly, the Office and Events Coordinator, great support for our team. Just a quick look at our funding partners. So obviously the province of Ontario is where the mainstay of our funding comes from. The City of Belleville and the City of Quinte West, as well as the Bay of Quinte Economic Development Commission. And of course, lots of support financially and in many other ways, the Trenval Group. So thank you to them. Trenval is actually our managing partner. We have Amber Darling, our executive director, working with us often, and then Barb Wilson, who's not here today, does our administrative support. So thank you to the Trenval Group for that. Next slide, please. Just a quick look on our core services. We do have 3 mainstay services, but this is just a quick look on some of the things we do. Brianna provides some great workshops and coordinates some great content for our small businesses, one-on-one counseling. We have several referrals, lots of referrals, and a great network, including Trenval and many others. And we'll do some outreach for our clients. We're also doing ongoing outreach to new partners and new community members in this area. And of course, we see a lot of inquiries come through our office. Let's take a look now at some of the numbers that we have for you. On March 31st, 2022, we finished a 3-year contract. We were lucky enough to secure another 2-year contract with a 3rd-year option. So we're going to look at the year end and the contract end for our services. In this office, our consultations, one-on-one counseling for year end has equaled 311. Over the 3-year contract, we've seen almost 900 one-on-one counseling sessions happen with local small businesses. Over the COVID term, we've seen a small decrease in job creation. As MP Williams has said, we are seeing a significant deficit in that area. However, we have been able to support job creation over the last year for 10 new jobs, and over the 3-year term, 115 job created. Big part of our success is coming to the table with resources and referrals. We have managed to coordinate 692 referrals back out to the community members this year, and over 1,400 referrals, working again with community members and other small business supports throughout the 3-year contract. General inquiries, we have almost 2,000 inquiries this year, many of which translate into counseling sessions or referrals back out. Brianna's responsible for putting many of those referrals and inquiries in the right place. And we've talked to 5,404 people on record, more than that, I'm sure, in the last 3 years. So lots of activity happening here at the Small Business Center. One of our other programs is the Starter Company Plus grant program. We're proud to say that this is one of the grant programs that is heavily sought out, very competitive, and we would like to have more funding to put back out, although it is limited. This year, sorry, at the end of March 31st, 2022, we were able to support 20 recipients, 54 over a 3-year contract. And we were able to provide $91,700 back into the community for small business use. That's non-repayable, so that's free and clear to the recipients. $281,000 over the 3 years. And I'm proud to say that this year we've just released another $93,000. So that program is well received. One of the other grant programs we have is the Summer Company program, specifically for students returning to school up to the age of 29. You'll see that this year at the year end, we had 0 participants, particularly due to COVID, a heavy in-person training session involved with that program. So for 2 years, actually, we had to defer that funding back to Starter Company, and we've had a little bit of a lower number than usual for Summer Company participants. We have managed to put out $18,000 back to the Summer Company program, and to which, as mentioned earlier, Chantel was a recipient at one point, doing a great job with her company. With COVID, one day I hope to never have to say that word again, but with COVID in place, we did receive a small amount of money from the SBC Ontario network, specifically for COVID relief funding. we took in $30,000 of additional funding, and we were able to use that as we wanted, and we were able to spread that out to support 41 businesses, particularly to address the e-commerce online systems that they didn't have in order to address online sales for those particular businesses that received some funding and some additional support and help there. So that was greatly welcomed. I would like to take a moment just to say thank you to Brianna, who does a lot of work for the Small Business Center as well. As the office and events coordinator, she puts together a lot of great content, as mentioned. And I'll turn it over to her to highlight some of the things we've done this year.
Thank you so much, Luke. As Luke mentioned, I am Brianna Ross, the Office and Events Coordinator for the Small Business Center. I'll go over a little bit what I do on my end for the Small Business Center. So as he mentioned before, I do workshops and events. So year end for workshops from 2021 to 2022, we had 36 workshops, and year end attendees was 744. So this again was all virtual. I don't think we've had any in-person workshops at all. So the last couple of years have been virtual. So contract end for workshops. So again, for the last 3 fiscal years, so 113 workshops with over 1,837 attendees between online and in person, because at one point we were able to be in person for a little bit. Also too, some of the workshops that we did was importance of content marketing, occupational health and safety. We have also done funding and financing workshops. We usually host those at least once or twice a year. They do exceptionally well. Of course, we had some COVID-19, return to workplace, employer preparedness, social media, LinkedIn, CRA, as well as how to prevent ransomware. So also too, some other things that we do as well here at the Small Business Center is we put together events. So in the last year, for year-end events, we had 5 events. Within those 5 events, we had 2 Bridge to Better Business events, as well as 1 International Women's Day and 2 youth events within the last year. So with a total attendees of 157 attendees. So within our last 3 years of our contract end, we had 11 events. So with over 450 attendees. And again, we had 6 Bridges events, 3 International Women's Days, and 2 youth events. So I actually also volunteer as a youth accessibility leader for the Enable Accessibility Fund. I have actually volunteered for 3 years now, and I was just approved last week. Last week for volunteering again for the year of 2022. So within the last year, we had a total number of inquiries of 42. The number of submitted applications was 16. So that total value would be over $141,000. So the total approved applications was 14, and the total value of put back making our community more accessible was $125,000, 291. That's a fair amount of money put back into your community just with 4 approved applicants. So in the total 3 years that I have been doing this and volunteering as a youth accessibility leader, is the total number of inquiries in the last 3 years is 123, with the total number of submitted applications was 61, and the total approved were 45. So the total value is was $387,676.05. So if we break that down into specific areas, we have Belleville, the total amount that is approved dollars over $86,000, a total approved of 21. Within Quinte West, we have over 100,000. Total approved was 13. And Hastings County would be 30,000, total approved 3. And Prince Edward County with over 56,000 and total approved 6. And other was over $900, over 9,000, and the total approved was 1. And actually that one was in Campbellford. So I would like also to turn this back over to our chair, Joanna March.
Thank you. I am returning with very sad news. We are losing 2 board members. Our first is Rob Rossick. He is the owner of Bridal Path Tack Shop and has been with Trenval for the last 6 years. He has provided expertise on real estate, retail, and construction matters. He has also been a member of the nomination committee to recruit new board members. So I'd like to call on Rob now so I can give him his thank you present from Trenval, as well as a certificate of appreciation from the government of Canada. Here you go.
Wow. It's official now. Hello, everyone. I would like to begin by saying I will miss these monthly meetings. When I was first asked to join Trenval team as a director, I wasn't sure I was the right person for the job. Like any smart man. Of course, I see my daughter sitting right there. Don't you worry, you're in the speech. Lost where excuse me. Come on in. Like any smart man would, I decided to discuss it with my wife before making the decision. Now, at this point, I'm not sure if she was stroking my ego or if she was just wanted a break from me, but she encouraged me to volunteer in my time to help other businesses. When I arrived at my first meeting, I realized I was not the only newbie. What the odds are, what are the odds that Matt Page was also joining the Trenval at the same time? My second meeting was in the boardroom at Loyalist College. When I walked into the Trenval office, I looked up at the wall of all the directors' pictures, as my daughter's looking right now. I saw a good-looking guy staring back at me. Sad to say that sexy picture will be taken down. I hope to get that picture back and give it to my wife. One person that won't miss seeing that picture every day is my daughter, Brianna. If you ever see her in the office, or if you ever come to the office at Trenval, you'll see her running the desk in Trenval. If you have any questions, please bug her and tell her how great her father is. In my time in Trenval, I have been on several committees and have made some hard and challenging decisions. With every situation, no matter how difficult, I knew I was surrounded by a team of great people with the same common goal of making Trenval and small business centers successful, and to help all new or helping businesses. I believe volunteers add value to everything they touch. I feel so honored to have had the chance to work with such a wonderful group of people. I've learned a lot, and I hope I've been able to give back as much. I want to thank you for your unending support and hope our paths will cross again soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Rob. For someone who doesn't talk that much, you did a very good job there. So our second board member who is who is leaving us, is Matthew Page. Matthew is a legal professional with Matthew Page Professional Corporation and retires from the board after 6 years. He has held the position of vice chair and then when called upon did an outstanding job as the acting chair. Matthew has provided Trenval with guidance in legal matters and has served on the governance and small business community committees. So Matthew, I would like to give you the certificate of appreciation from the government of Canada, and I will put this bag of goodies for you. Come on.
Joanne, thank you very much.
The news of my death is greatly exaggerated. Amazing raw, 6 years, days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months, and here we are. Just very briefly, thank you so much to the board members and the staff at Trenval. It's been an honor to learn from you, to learn about your community, and to hopefully help that community. I think we're particularly proud of bringing in our new executive director, Amber Darling. She has been a stabilizing force and one of the reasons why this CFDC is a model for CFDCs across the province. Winston Churchill once said, "Never let a good crisis go to waste." And it's been amazing to see Trenval transition and grow in its thinking and service delivery through this COVID crisis. And I can't look forward anymore to the bright days ahead for this organization, how it's going to help. So thanks so much for the opportunity, and we'll have a bigger supporter watching from time to time and encourage. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Matt. Believe me, we will miss you sorely, you two. I really mean that. But so on the good news, we have two new directors with us. Our first new director is Taylor Russett of Quinte West. He wears many hats. He is the owner of the Grind and Vine, Russett Photography, and his new venture, Snappy Photo Booth Company. Taylor has a Master's of Management, Innovation, and Entrepreneurship from the Smith School of Business, Queen's University, and has a Bachelor of Communications and Media Studies from Carleton University. Welcome, Taylor. We're happy to have you. Our second new board member is Heather Lang from Tyendinaga Township. She is currently the municipal councillor, serves on multiple boards, including Quinte Conservation, Source Water Protection, the Township Library Board, and the Shannonville Fair Agricultural Society. Heather runs her own business, Cedar Lane Financial Consulting, and is a partner in Noctuli Farms. Very good. Welcome, both of you. We're happy to have you join us. So our next item of business is to appoint the officers of Trenval. So at our last meeting, we had agreed that the officers will be myself, Jamie, and Chris, but I need to make this official. So I need a motion to set the following directors be appointed as officers of Trenval Business Corporation. Myself, Joanna March, Chair, Jamie O'Shea, Vice Chair, and Chris Fraser, Secretary Treasurer.
I'll put that motion through. Joanna, Shandy Davis.
So Shandy, thanks. Seconder?
I'll second that, Dave Wilson.
All in favor? Any opposed? Thanks, motion carried. So now I would like to recognize the amazing 12-member board of directors we have in front of us. They represent all of our service areas. And in recruiting, we strive to meet the 50-30 challenge set out by the Government of Canada that includes equity and diversity. Anyway, that was something. Anyway, on a personal note, it has been a pleasure to work with a group of amazing, talented, knowledgeable board members, and you are all committed to making the businesses in Trenval thrive, and thank you all for your commitment. My second group of people that I would like to recognize is our staff. The Trenval staff is a wonderful group of people. I want to start with Harry. Harry was a longtime employee looking after all the administration and so much more. The board has never had to worry about our finances. So when Harry retired, we were a bit nervous, but we didn't have to be because Barb's, graciously took over the reins, and we are so glad she did. We are back to feeling confident that all our administration operations are well taken care of. Chantel is our newest member. She surprises us every day with what she can accomplish. We are so grateful to have her on our team. Then there's our loan officer, Eileen. When COVID hit, she was responsible for distributing all of the relief funding from the government, as well as servicing our existing clients. It's a remarkable job, Arlene. Last but not least, our executive director, Amber, has been an employee of Trenval for 28 years. She brings unbelievable knowledge and expertise to the job. She is so creative in coming up with new ideas of how we can serve our community. I don't believe Trenval would be as successful as it is if it wasn't for Amber. So thank you all for doing such a great job. So anyway, Trenval has been in operation for 35 years, and I'm not going to go through all of these numbers because Eileen has already talked to you about them. I just want to say that sometimes we do not realize what a huge impact Trenval has made on our communities. When I walk down the street and I see businesses that we have helped, and I look and I go, you know, that business would not exist if it wasn't for Trenval. So that makes volunteering for this organization for me so worthwhile. So I would just like to say in conclusion that any of you that know the business that needs help, please remember us and recommend us, because Trenval is here to serve. So in conclusion, I would just like to say that Trenval is 35 years old in September the 8th. So we will be doing some kind of a celebration. We don't know about that yet, but we will let you know in details to come. So I need a motion now to adjourn the annual, and it's 1 hour. 1 hour, we said we would do it in 1 hour and we did. So a motion to adjourn the annual general meeting. I need a motion from Rob, which is his last motion he's going to do. So thank you, everybody, for attending. We really appreciate you taking the time, and have a wonderful summer. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone.